you had a childhood where you were extremely entrepreneurial. You're saying nature versus nurture. And, for me, I know that you mentioned earlier, I want you to talk about this briefly. I want to know how the single mother, being raised by a single mother where money was tight, I assume that played into the nature part of it right there and affected you and from an environmental standpoint of if you wanted money or if you wanted something for yourself, you probably had to go get it yourself. So why don't you elaborate?
Yeah. I mean, that was it. You were, if a bicycle, like I bought my own, my first car, bought my own, car insurance, paid for my own. And it was, if you wanted something, you had to go out and earn it to get it. It's a little bit different than society today. But those are the things that we're trying to instill our kids in our kids, our three kids. And so for us, it was very much grind. I was a great employee because I grew businesses. Every company I ever worked for, I helped grow it. And that's something that always kind of got me going was I could see things differently. And so it's like, if you equate it to a sports person, they say, when I got really good, I could see the game slow down for me and it made them that much better. And it made them make others around them better. That's where I kind of got to from a business perspective was I could see things slowing down around me and the little nuances and little changes that could be made to drastically increase value in the company. And so for me, it was just one of those things where, thank God I found out what I was good at, because I found out what I was good at. And then it was a matter of sidling up to anybody that did anything that was like, okay, I could learn something at that age. You can learn something from anyone. And you can still technically, when you're older, when you're my age, you can still learn something from anyone. It's just a lot more fewer and further in between. So it was really, if I wanted something, I was going to have to go out and get it. And largely, we were young when my parents got divorced. I wasn't old enough to stay at home and watch myself or my sister. And so for years, our Saturdays were going out in the car. My mom had a huge car, one of those big, huge, massive Buick Roadmasters that was like driving. I always used to call it the driving cloud.
Yeah.
we would pack in those things and we would go and we look at property. And I remember, I think I was probably 10 years old. We were in a car and the guy nudges me and he goes, "What do you think about this house?" I was like, "It's a really nice house." And he goes, "What do you think about the other house?" And I go, "I think for the difference in price, I'd buy the other one and build the things that you like here." And then I didn't remember that until my mother reminded me probably 8 or 10 years later. She's like, I said, "All I remember is catching a sharp elbow from you." Because I was sitting next to her and she gave me one of these. I was like, that's the way I saw it. So it was just one of those things that, yeah, if I wanted something, I was going to have to go out and get it. And, a treat for us was being able to go in the basement and pick pennies out of the penny jar.
Nice.
To then, buy a pizza. And so that was a little bit if you are our Domino's driver from when I was a kid, I apologize. We still tipped, but it was in pennies. So my apologies. I know it took you a while to get through those.
Well, that's awesome. I remember when I was a kid, our treat, it was like a Christmas if we got to go to McDonald's. Like, oh, we get to eat out. We're going to McDonald's. Oh, shoot. Nice. Yeah. That was like the coolest thing for me. So
yeah. We didn't, the McDonald's for us was far away. And so that's how I made up for it later on in life. But yeah, that's how my wife and we would treat each other when we were really, really poor. And this was only about 10, 12, maybe 12 years, 12 to 14 years ago, right around the Great Recession. And that's how we would treat ourselves, is we would go and we'd shop off the dollar menu and we could get our dinners for about $7 combined.
Yeah. This is also back when McDonald's was cheap, and unfortunately it's extremely expensive now.
Much more expensive now.
It always makes me depressed because I'm like, I ain't going to McDonald's. It's too pricey. If I'm going to spend $15 for a meal, I may as well go to the Olive Garden. What the flip?